Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. So Apple just pulled the wraps off its massive September 2025 lineup, and wow, there is a lot to talk about. We're talking about the thinnest iPhone they've ever made, a huge new focus on your personal health, and a very controversial, very late entry into the AI arms race. But it's not just about the shiny new toys. There are some serious stories swirling around the company, from major lawsuits to protests. So let's get into it and break it all down. Here's what's on the docket today. We're going to start with that crazy new ultra-thin iPhone. Then we'll dive into how Apple wants to monitor your health. After that, it's all about the AI race. Then we'll look at the protests and security threats facing Apple right now. And finally, we'll talk about the price of all this shiny new progress. All right, first up, the hardware. Apple is making a massive bet on design this year, specifically on thinness. And they've introduced a brand new model that really just changes the entire look and feel of the iPhone. This was the big mic drop moment of the whole event. I mean, think about it. Most phones these days are actually getting thicker to cram in bigger batteries and more camera lenses. But Apple, they're zigging while everyone else is zagging, introducing this radically slim device they're calling the iPhone Air. So how thin are we talking? Just 5.6 millimeters. That's just wild. It is unbelievably slim, making it a serious feat of engineering. You get the sense this isn't just a phone, it's a statement piece, something they want you to feel in your hand and just go, whoa. And here's the kicker. This isn't just a pretty face. To get a phone this thin to actually work without, melting, Apple had to cram in their brand new A19 Pro chip. And their claim that it has MacBook levels of compute? That's incredibly bold. It means this super skinny phone should be able to handle some seriously heavy-duty tasks. Okay, so let's see where this new Air model fits into the whole family. It's got the same powerful A19 Pro chip as the actual Pro models, but it's rocking a titanium frame, while the Pros are now using aluminum. This really puts you, the buyer, in a tough spot. Do you go for the Air's radical new design, or do you stick with the more traditional Pro features? But, the innovation story this year doesn't stop with the iPhone. Apple is really weaving health monitoring deep into its entire ecosystem, basically turning its gadgets into your own personal wellness clinic. And this is a bit of a curveball. The first piece of this health puzzle isn't the Apple Watch. It's the new AirPods Pro 3. For years, AirPods have been all about music and calls. But now, they're becoming a legitimate, full-on fitness and health device. The headline feature here is, without a doubt, in-your heart rate monitoring. You combine that with a longer battery life and way better sweat resistance, and all of a sudden your AirPods are competing directly with dedicated fitness trackers from brands like Garmin or Fitbit. But of course, you can't talk about Apple and health without talking about the Apple Watch. The new Series 11 isn't just tacking on a few new features. No, it's doubling down on monitoring your core vital signs. This is Apple moving deeper and deeper into preventative health. The absolute biggest deal here is blood pressure monitoring. The watch can now actually spot patterns of hypertension and send you an alert, which is a feature that needs actual FDA clearance to work. You add in a new sleep score tool and a true all-day battery, and this thing is becoming an absolutely essential health device. All right, let's switch gears from hardware to the brains of the operation, the software. Apple is finally making its big move into AI, but it's jumping into a battlefield that is already raging with fierce competition and a whole lot of controversy. And this really gets to the heart of the matter, doesn't it? As cool as the new designs and chips are, the real war for the future of our phones and computers, it might be all about intelligence. The question is, who can build the smartest, most helpful AI? Apple's answer to that question is something they're calling Apple Intelligence. It's their fancy new brand for a whole bunch of AI features that are baked right into iOS 16. So think about live translation happening right in your AirPods, or being able to do a much smarter search of your photo library. It's all designed to be seamless and private. But how they built it? Yeah, that's already causing some major problems. And this is where things get really messy. Right before the big event, a group of authors slapped Apple with a huge lawsuit. They're claiming that Apple trained its AI models using pirated books. This accusation strikes at the very heart of the biggest debate in tech right now. Where are these companies getting the massive amounts of data they need to build these AIs? On top of the legal drama, you gotta remember, Apple is really late to this party. While they're just now launching Apple Intelligence, their competitors' phones are already, and I'm quoting here, chock full of Gemini and other AI. Just look at what Google is doing with its Pixel phones. It is crystal clear that Apple is playing catch-up in a race that started years ago. Okay, so we've talked products, we've talked software, but the keynote is never the whole story. When you're a company the size of Apple, there are always these massive external pressures, from huge societal responsibilities all the way down to direct security threats. And this is a really tough but really important part of the story. Outside the event, child safety advocates were protesting. This incredibly powerful statement comes from the CEO of the HEAT initiative, and it accuses Apple of not doing nearly enough to find and remove child sexual abuse material, or CSAM, from iCloud. It really shines a light on the huge ethical challenge for a company that stakes its reputation on privacy. Now, to be clear, this isn't a simple issue with an easy fix. Back in 2021, Apple actually proposed a tool to scan for this stuff, but they hit pause after privacy experts warned it could create a backdoor for mass surveillance. It just goes to show you the incredibly difficult tightrope Apple is trying to walk between protecting children and protecting user privacy. And while that massive debate is happening, there's a more direct and personal threat that you need to know about. Security researchers have spotted a new malware campaign called Atomic macOS Stealer, and it's designed to steal literally everything from your passwords to your crypto wallets. So, what can you actually do to protect yourself? Well, the advice is pretty straightforward, but you have to be vigilant. First, stick to the official App Store whenever you can. Check URLs carefully. Avoid search result ads, and please, please never download cracked or pirated software. That's the #1 way this stuff spreads. A little common sense goes a long way here. Okay, let's bring it all home. After all that, the incredible design, the futuristic health tech, the AI controversies, it all comes down to one question for a lot of us, right? What's the price tag? Well, here are the numbers. The standard iPhone 17 is holding steady at $799. But that new iPhone Air, with its fancy design and Pro chip, that starts at $1,099. And then the Pro and Pro Max climb up from there. It's a very clear strategy, and it shows that Apple thinks that radical new design is worth a pretty significant premium. And that really leaves us with one final big question. What is the future of our devices actually about? Is it about how they look and feel? Is it about what they can measure about our bodies? Or is it about how they think? This year, Apple is betting heavily on all three. The real question is which one of those is going to define the next decade of technology. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.